guys, this is HD.
And this is Pain User.
And we're back for game number 2 between coLstalife and Vibe in the losers bracket round 3 of the IPL. Last game, Vibe seriously just got crapped on. I mean, coLstalife just took it all the way and said, I'm going to dictate the pace of this game. I'm going to win this game. I'm going to win this series. And I don't know what Vibe was doing. I mean, he built a hatchery.
Yeah,
he saw Marines and Hellions coming at him. Like
it just didn't click in Vibe's brain what was going on. He
didn't
was
put
probably
two and two
too
together.
Focused with that crazy APM of his. Check that out real quick. He has ridiculously high APM, and that's StarCraft 2 APM.
Yeah, this in Brood War would translate to like 750 current APM, about maybe like 600 average.
That's insanity.
That's July Zerg status.
That's
insanity.
That's carpal tunnel. That's status.
Beyond insanity. That's just wow.
Especially at this point in the game. I mean, that's just crazy. There's nothing going on right now.
I mean, if we go over to his first-person player camera view right now, he's not really bouncing around the map because he's only looking at one thing, but we're going to check back later on, and I just want to warn you guys, if you guys have motion sickness, I'll tell you guys, just look away from the screen because he's just very, very fast.
Yeah, he's very mechanically sound, and I think he relies on that a lot. So he was just, I think, just going down his standard path and wasn't really fazed by what he saw. But he did have the scouting intel to know that that push was coming.
In all honesty, though, if he had not been pushed, that macro hatch, that extra hatchery would have really paid dividends in the mid to late game. It would have been huge, and we actually have a little bit of a lag spike right here.
I think this would be a much better map to execute that build on.
Yeah, talking about the map, this is Shakuras Plateau, very wide open. I do believe the loser picks the next map. I could be wrong, but this is a huge map and beautiful for Zerg play. And I don't think we're actually not seeing coLstalife go with any kind of 2-racks aggression, as a lot of Terran players like to do. He's actually playing standard 1-racks gas.
Yeah, coLstalife really likes these tech builds against Zerg. He likes getting out Banshees, he likes getting out Hellions, and last game went real hard with the one base. I mean, went up several Raxes, a factory, starport with Tech Lab. So hopefully he's not going to do that on this map, because I think Vibe will shut that down pretty hard. Vibe has an amazing TVZ on Shakuras Plateau. I've played him several times. I played him at MLG on this map, and he likes to use a lot of Nidus Worms. He gets out Infestors very early on in the game.
We saw a couple games of him in a couple other series in the IPL where he did some crazy work with Nidus.
Yeah, he's real good with Niduses because he just has so much APM. He can pull you all over the map, and you just can't keep up. He sends forces to different locations on the map, has Niduses popping up everywhere, and really he just wears you down. He keeps killing supply depots, SCVs, production facilities, and it's very difficult to stay on top of things.
So I'm interested here, Pain User, to see what coLstalife's response is going to be to the macro of Vibe, because Vibe is in his element right now. He's got his natural expansion down. This is a much more different map than Xel'Naga Caverns. I don't think we're going to be seeing that kind of crazy play that will kill Vibe off. Vibe should be well prepared, especially considering the events of game number 1. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. coLstalife here is going to go 1-racks back into command center. So I think he's going to go for some kind of a Hellion harass, and then he's going to grab his natural.
coLstalife again, bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bringing the Reactor Hellion opener back. And honestly, a lot of these builds get outdated. People haven't seen them for quite some time. They're not being used on the ladder.
And you don't expect it.
It's just like your reactions to these specific builds diminish over time when you're not in practice of dealing with them. So
you just forget that Terrans can do this.
Exactly.
They can do the reactor factory.
He knows it's coming now, though.
Yeah. So I really want to see what is on his production tab. He's making 5 drones. As soon as his larva is ready, we should see some links coming out or a spine crawler or something.
He has the roach warren up already, so I think he's going to use roaches and try and wall off his natural, and I think that's a great response to this.
Especially because this map has a small choke right here. You can wall that off with roaches very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should get a spine crawler, and I would have liked to have seen that Evo chamber up at the front somewhere, or perhaps helping to block the first ramp at the natural.
And no queen blocking the ramp.
Ooh, coLstalife probably could have got those Hellions in there, but he's going to wait for 4. And it looks like he's just going to use the Hellions. He's content to just sit back and hold on to map control. Looks like he's worried about some kind of a roach all-in. Does have a Tech Lab already on his racks. Not getting any upgrades, not getting a Marauder yet, but probably will pretty soon. But I think he's focused. Oh, 6 Hellions now. Really committing to these Hellions, and I hope he doesn't get too greedy, because really, I think he's going to be able to hold these Hellions
Here
off.
we
The
go.
Roaches are in position. They do not block the ramp, but the Hellions are taking tons of damage. One already getting picked off, and he's just going straight for the drone line.
He's going to go ahead and try to roast some drones, Pain User. He picks off
Got
3,
way too
4,
greedy.
5. That is not enough. That
For
does
6
not,
Hellions?
That is definitely
Absolutely
not justify the cost of these Hellions, because now the Zerg player has absolute map control, and he can start to put the pressure right back on the Terran.
He could even push the natural right now with a ton of Roaches, and
Agreed.
I don't think there's much he could do to stop it. But I think Vibe will continue to drone up. He loves getting a ton of drones early on in the game, going up to 40 right now. Probably going to continue to produce those. And
maybe a hatchery pretty soon too.
Look to see Vibe taking a relatively quick third, and it looks like he's going for a Spire. So we might not see his usual Infestor play here, going for a quick Spire. And this is a good map for Mutalisks. I mean, the Mutalisk style is still very good. Everybody's using the Ling Infestor, aggressive Ling upgrades style right now in TVZ. And I feel like the Mutalisk style is still very good. A lot of players like Hydra still use it, and it still works. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can always go back to builds that are effective.
I mean, if Minigun is going to go back to the old school, then Vibe is going to go back to the old school too. And he's going to bring the Mutalisk Pain right back into the skies. StallLife, right.
That was the last game.
That is right. It is StallLife versus Vibe. We've been casting so many games today. But if Vibe decides to go for the Mutalisk, which it looks like he is, I mean, he's going to bring it right back to the old days of StarCraft 2. This is how TVZ was played at the end of the beta and early on in the life of StarCraft 2. And it's kind of a joy, man. I like watching this. This is the style that I love most.
Wow, he is also getting that Infestation Pit.
Wow, you're right.
So it looks like he might be doing a mix of both. Maybe one thing I think Aspire is just great for is getting out a small pack of Mutalisks, not committing too much, and it looks like he's queuing up 6 right now. So look to see him staying and floating around that number and just using those Mutalisks to intercept drops and harass where he can. But StallLife launching a pretty aggressive early bio push right here. I don't know if I agree with this right now. He's going to need to do a ton of damage. He does have stim. Combat shields are on the way. Those are not going to be finished by the time his push gets there. And Vibe does know this is coming now. He is producing quite a few units. He has those mutas out, but it looks like he does pull back his forces. Very good by Vibe right there. He needs every unit back at his natural right now, and he has to hold this off.
Yeah, Vibe right now is under a lot of pressure. He needs to keep these Roaches alive. He's waiting for 24 Zerglings to come out. Muta's flying in here a little bit carelessly. They got to be careful because those Marines can do so much damage. And there comes the 24 Zerglings popping out somewhere from the main, and I think that Vibe will have enough to clear this out. He may suffer some Mutalisks as casualties, but yeah, he's going to be able to clear this attack away. And here's the thing, StallLife does no damage whatsoever with this attack, and Vibe now has a ton of Mutalisks in the sky. This is going to force StallLife to immediately come up with some anti-air defense. And look at this. I believe we just saw Vibe cancel his No, he just finished his pathogen upgrade. So he is going to be dropping down to Infestors after these Mutalisks. I love this play. The Terran's going to overcommit with Marines to defend against the Mutalisks, and then he's going to bring out the Infestors.
Yeah, absolutely. Infestors are so good now at dealing with packs of Marines. And really losing that first push as a Terran player in TVZ is just so devastating. It gives the Zerg 100% control of the tempo of the game. He's able to just drone up freely. He feels so safe right now. He's getting that big pack of mutas. He's also got the Infestor tech out. So Vibe just playing a really smart game right now, and he's in firm grasp of control on this game. I don't see StallLife taking a third anytime this year, and Vibe could easily take a fourth. Just continue to macro up, continue to get upgrades, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in about 5 minutes here.
Yeah, this is the beauty of Mutalisks in Terran versus Zerg. You're able to control the map once you defeat that Bio Ball push, if it comes. If it doesn't, you can still harass around the map. And these Mutalisks can do so much damage, not only to the SCVs, but they also force StallLife to stay contained. He can't grab the third, like you said, Pain User. He has to build more Marines. And these Marines are going to be so susceptible to the fungal growth, man. It's going to be, they're going to be vomited on, and
yeah, it's not.
It's going to be brutal.
It's a very difficult a challenge to deal with the Infestors now, especially since they do so much DPS to your Marines. But it's just going to come down to the micro, how well he can spread his Marines. But really, I think a great way of dealing with it is getting that tank count up really high, and it seems like since StallLife committed to that early Bio Hellion push, he hasn't been building up his tank count since the beginning of the game. He only has 3 tanks right now. And to be quite frank, I think Vibe is just going to be able to flat out crush this push, but we'll see how it goes down.
Mutalisk now intercepting this small dropship party, and those Marines are going to be cleared out right away. The dropship will also follow suit, getting demolished by the Glaive Worm attack, and we have a pretty sizable army moving across the map. No Xel'Naga control. Oh wait, yeah, there's one Xel'Naga watchtower being controlled by the Zerg. So right now, Vibe is gonna have to land. Beautiful Fungos gets it down, and these Marines, man, they're so vulnerable to fungal growth. Everything gets taken out, and now these Mutalisks should have free reign over the tanks. Couple Marines coming over to reinforce though, and oh man, Vibe has more fungal in the tank.
Using those fungals really well right there, picking off a ton of Marines. Luckily, he did save his tanks, so he didn't lose all the tanks right there.
And during that attack, he grabbed his third.
So he's got his third now. He's got some tanks, but the third is undefended. He's trying to hold the middle of the map with tanks here. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. These Mutalisks are coming up on the tanks right now, and they are unprotected. Probably going to lose one tank. And Vibe not getting greedy, pulls out of there immediately. StallLife trying to reinforce with Marines right now, and it looks like he might be launching another push, or he might just try and fortify mid right now. I would try and fortify mid. I don't think he has enough to launch an aggressive push right here without losing everything.
Well, here's the thing. I think he realizes that the Zerg has so many more expansions at him. He's trying to, I guess, trade armies to diminish the Zerg's army size. But I don't know if this is going to work out in his favor because these infestors, man, they can constantly just vomit and puke over these Marines. And these Marines, they don't like that, man. They don't like getting vomited on. They take a lot of damage from that. Now the Mutalisk can come in and clean the weakened Marines out. And these tanks say goodnight.
Yeah, he's going to lose all of his tanks right here. And that's such a crippling blow. Vibe coming up huge right now.
Oh my god.
Picking off 3 of those tanks, and it looks like he's just going to send in these Zerglings and the rest of his Mutalisks. Going to clean up this army in mid, and then he's going to have free reign on the third, which is not a planetary fortress. It is an orbital command. I don't know if I agree with that. He has no control over mid right now. He doesn't really need that orbital command, and Vibe not taking advantage of this, but he does have a sizable army advantage right now, and he has those infestors that are just constantly increasing on their energy, and every time StallLife tries to make something happen, those infestors are just picking off tons of Marines, and I love how he's using the infestors in conjunction with the mutas. Fungling and then sending in the mutas to pick off the remaining Marines that are just in red, have no hit points, and they just get taken out, and the Glaive Worms bounce from Marine to Marine and just kill them all so fast.
Vibe here actually moving away from the orbital, did not see it, but now he comes back in, he sees that the Terran does indeed have a third, now mobilizing his entire army in position, and I just want to warn you guys, we're going to see a little motion sickness here as we switch over to his player camera view at 350 APM apiece, really bouncing across the map, controlling his army. At the same time, I believe he is macroing back at home, and yeah, running back to see that there's a drop inside one of his auxiliary expansions. His Zerglings unburrowing at the center, and nice hold by StallLife to keep his third safe. This drop actually just saved his third expansion.
Yeah, this drop is huge for StallLife right now. If he's able to get this 4th hatchery, that's going to make all the difference in the world. They will be even on bases. He needs to pull those Marines back a little bit, get them in the mineral line. They're probably going to get killed before they can kill that hatchery, and that sucks for StallLife. Getting those hatcheries into deep red, it's like almost, but just not quite, and it looks like he is going to be getting some ultras out. Vibe sitting in a great position right now, getting that chitinous plating. Those ultras are going to be great for him. He's going to be able to break that position on mid, and he might start getting those Niduses that he loves to use in the late game in TVZ. I haven't seen one yet, but look for them soon. This would be the perfect time to start using them. StallLife's forces are all controlling the middle area right now. He's not going to really be able to send large armies back and forth, and right now the supply differential is just huge. Vibe is maxed out.
And look at that, we do have a Nidus Storm coming up now. Pain User, really good insight right there. And why not? When you're a Zerg and you're maxed out and you know you have a huge advantage, this is a great time to use Nidus Storms. Keep the pressure going on the Terran. Honestly, trying to run your entire army into a Terran player can cost you the game, especially if he has a good fortification at the middle. So the best thing to do, go through the back, pop up underground, pop into the main, pick off the production facilities, pop into one of these backside expansions. We can see there are overlords already positioned in great spots to lay down the Nidus Pain, and now the Ultralisk coming in, Pain User. This could spell disaster for StallLife.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be able to break this fortification on mid. StallLife losing all of his tanks, all those bunkers going down. Meanwhile, Vibe keeping most of his infestors alive, keeping a few of those Ultralisks alive, so very cost-effective trade right there. StallLife trying to put up a wall to keep the Zerg forces out. You shall not pass. But he is going to go straight to the fourth and probably going to be able to kill this PF. Not repairing it. Going to go down.
Wow. And not repairing there. That I don't know what he was thinking. And StallLife, his SCV is going through the gauntlet. It's an Ultralisk defense right now as the SCVs try to escape. A couple of them only to get fungled at the end of the road.
I don't know if those fungals were cost effective, but at this point it really doesn't make a difference. Vibe has this game 100%. Nidus going up to the bottom right, going to be sending some Zerglings through there, and StallLife just holding on to nothing at this point.
Yeah, he's holding on by a bare thread. If that, Zergling's now running into this expansion, but there's really nothing to pick off anyways. Infestors in your mineral line. If there's one thing that says GG, that is that. It looks like the Infestors may actually get picked off by a really nice scan here. Oh, 3 Infestors getting popped by a tank Marauder combination. Oh, those Infestors when they die. Yeah. That's awesome animation. Thanks. Kudos to you guys, Blizzard. StallLife is still holding on, but things are looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, things are beyond bleak. He's bottled up. He's trying to wall off his third right now with some bunkers. Actually, I mean, smart, but a little too late. There's really nothing he can do at this point. Vibe has the entire left side of the map. He also has his pocket expo in the bottom mid, and yeah, he's just racking up the gas, racking up those minerals, and he's already building those super high-tech units. Looks like he's going to get some Corruptors out and transition to Broodlords. Right. Really not even necessary at this point. I feel like Vibe could just drive it home and kill the third relatively easily here, but he's playing smart. He doesn't want to overcommit. Popping up those Niduses everywhere, going to harass the main a little bit here, kill some production, and yeah, I don't really know what StallLife is going to do to recover.
This SCV says, wait guys, I can kill this worm by myself. It looks like Vibe will not be sending forces out. There we go, some Zerglings, but it looks like StallLife will be able to pick off this worm in time. Here comes the Ultras though. The Ultras popping out just a little late to the party. And StallLife may actually be able to pick off this army, but down to the south. Oh, no, the command center has lifted, so.
That was actually really smart of StallLife right there. He had a large enough army that he could camp the Nidus and kill the units as they came out. So he actually didn't kill the worm, and he just camped outside and killed all those units, but losing 2 medevacs right here. Not going to be able to get that drop off on the fourth. Vibe doing a great job with his Mutalisks, patrolling the skies, picks off that second medevac right there. And those units are just stuck up there, not going to be able to do anything. And he is now getting those Broodlords at the bottom right position, and those are going to be able to break the fortress that StallLife has set up over here at the third. And yeah, it's just a countdown now.
Yeah, StallLife pushing out, trying to make something happen with whatever he's got. But the Broodlords, like you said, the countdown to Doomsday has arrived. The Broodlords are now out. They're going to be able to completely demolish this expansion. I mean, there's just nothing there. And StallLife right now maybe just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to try to base race. I'm not even going to try to protect my expansions anymore. There's too much crap going on with Niduses popping in my main, Broodlords shelling my auxiliary expansion. I'm going to try to win the game with a middle push right here. And this is really all he can do. He cannot protect all of his bases anymore. He just has to try to push in and do whatever damage he can.
Yeah, he's going to lose all of his production at the main here. His third has already gone down. He's really holding the mid-map for no apparent reason right now. He should be in a much more urgent situation here. He should be moving across the map. He knows most of Vibe's forces are caught up in the main and at the third. I don't know why he's moving so slow. He just killed a relatively useless expansion that had no drones.
And he used the stim too. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know what's going on. 294 supply, but I mean, as long as you have your last standing army, I mean, you might as well just play it out until the last engagement. But right now, coLstalife is the one who needs to be making something happen, and he's not doing that.
Hey, drop on the cliff, or on the ledge right here. I like that. How often do you see tanks on this ledge? But oh man, the Broodlords are here, and the Marines are... I don't know what they're doing. coLstalife decides to stim in the middle of the map, but Fungal creeping up on him and catching half the Marines off guard. Looks like the Marines will be able to pick off the Broodlords. Really nicely well played right there. coLstalife doing whatever he can, using the terrain to his advantage, but with more Ultras and Infestors coming in, these Marines' days are numbered. The main of coLstalife has been absolutely cleaned out, man.
He literally has no buildings.
Could be down to a base race. I mean, a building elimination here. I mean, there's only 2 command centers here. coLstalife coming up into the natural. This is like the first time today we've ever seen coLstalife make an attack on Zerg territory with a ground force, with tanks, but the Linkser will be able to easily
He got so cost effective in mid though. Kudos to coLstalife right there. He killed so many units in mid.
But Vibe could afford that.
Oh yeah, Vibe didn't care at all.
Vibe was like, hey,
have my Broodlords, have my Ultralisks, queues up 100 Zerglings. I mean, yeah, there's nothing that...
Look at it, he had 22 Mutalisks coming out. That's 2,200 minerals and 2,200 gas worth of mutas, and he still has 2,000 of each resource.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah. Nicely played by Vibe. Honestly, this is the map for him to win on, and now the Terran, I believe, gets to pick the next.
Yeah, so we are 1-1 right now, going into the 3rd game of this series. Let's see who can take it.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that cast. HD and Pain User. Both going to be signing out here, and make sure you guys let your friends know and, you know, post everywhere. You guys like this casting combo? We'll be back for more with your support.